Unless and until atheists answer those questions, atheism will continue to be the bullcrap we all know it is.
That's right. Some guy riding along a highway somewhere in the USA, undercutting cars and whatnot, thinks atheism is bullcrap until some of his questions can be answered. Shock of God is about to get a shock without God, as this atheist answers this biketheist's questions. Atheism be bullcrap, no more! Hello, I'm the Skeptick, the British floating circle that watches people make extraordinary claims and then I explain why I don't accept what they're saying. You know what YouTube needs more of? Biketheists, a cartheist's marginally better cousin, explaining why atheism is absolute bullcrap. Never mind he should probably be concentrating on the road. Shock of God, with his 57,000 subscribers, has 7 questions that he needs answering, or else atheism is bullcrap. I wonder what regurgitated questions he has. So before being questioned about atheism, if this isn't your first Skeptic video, hit the like, the subscribe and the bell, and maybe the algorithm will question itself and start suggesting better videos for your feed. And a super thanks to those that hit super thanks in some recent videos. Mikael Lundgren and Kevin. And a big thank you to channel members who get to use Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe and more hen emojis. Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe bestows leaves upon you all. More hen. Well, keep your eye on the road. We're getting questioned.
All right, you guys, join us again. Very quick video. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions that atheists cannot answer. And take a look at the comment section. Let's see if any atheists have the guts.
Why does it take guts to answer questions? Why does this guy have 57,000 subscribers but only 95 views in 7 days? I know YouTube is having major issues with killing channels right now, but that's ridiculous. Also, leave a comment on this video to help the algorithm. Okay, thanks, bye.
So we're gonna get some air in this puppy. And here goes the questions. We're just going to get right to it, and then we're going to go out on these high-speed roads here. Number 1, why do atheists lie and say they're happy when atheists have been shown to have the highest depression rate and the highest suicide rate?
Hello, atheist here, non-depressed and non-suicidal. I checked a few places and couldn't see where it said that, but I did find this little bit that I thought was interesting on ScienceDirect.com, that atheists have positive physical and mental health outcomes. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but out of all the atheists I know and have met, we're pretty open about our mental health because there's much less stigma and not many openly depressed. But perhaps that's it. In religious circles, it's looked down upon, so maybe you don't hear of depression because your buddies have to hide it.
Why do atheists lie like that?
Why are you making things up? Does it make you feel better?
Atheists, why do you guys have the highest suicide rate? You know, you don't kill yourself if things are going great in your life. We don't want you to do any harm to yourself, but there's definitely a major suicide problem. This is not rational.
I'm not sure where you're getting your info from, but in some cases, suicide risk is higher in religious groups because of guilt and isolation, and usually it's the religi bros that go on killing sprees and then get caught, rather than doing themselves off, as has dominated the news recently. In fact, out of all the people I've known that have taken their own lives, 1 has been atheist, the other 3 have been believers. So since statistics can be plucked from thin air, it looks like 75% of all suicides are theists.
Atheists say they're rational, but they're killing themselves. All right.
I'm atheist, and neither of those things apply to me. Others may say I'm rational. To me, I'm just unconvinced.
Why are atheists science deniers? So atheists, why do you guys say the universe is eternal?
How exactly is that denying science? Just because you don't accept something, it doesn't mean I'm denying science.
And all science shows that the proof and evidence shows that the universe had a definite beginning.
It depends on how you look at it. There's definitely a moment in time that the universe we can observe came to be. It came from a moment, a thing, and there's no way of knowing what was before. But since it came from a singular moment, it's likely that there was something preceding that.
We see the universe expanding. We see that there's a thing called time, and things are aging. So obviously, the universe isn't eternal. All matter, space-time, energy all had a beginning. The Borde-Guth-Vilenkin theorem has put to rest that debate. Is the universe eternal or not? It's not eternal.
The Borde-Guth-Vilenkin theorem just states that the expansion of the universe had a beginning. It doesn't prove that the universe isn't eternal. What happened before the rapid expansion? Some suggest a contraction. Sorry, bub.
So why do you atheists deny science and claim that the universe is eternal?
I mean, really, I'm not claiming it's actually eternal. I'm just down with the folks who say it could be. But the age of the universe has nothing to do with being an atheist, so really it's irrelevant.
You know, it was Stephen Hawking's birthday, and Borde-Guth-Vilenkin, they attended, I think Borde and Vilenkin attended. Not all three of them did, but two of them attended Stephen Hawking's birthday party, and they said, with the proof now in place showing that all evidence shows that the universe came into existence and had a definite beginning, they said with the proof now in place, cosmologists can no longer hide behind the myth that the universe is eternal. All proof and evidence shows the universe had a beginning. Atheists, why are you science deniers? Why do you go against science?
Because firstly, as I said moments ago, that science isn't talking about the age of the universe, but the point of rapid expansion. And secondly, science also says that there could be a big bounce, and I'm not denying that. You are. So you're a science denier.
Why do you claim the universe is eternal? I mean, I know why. I'm going to answer you. Because if the universe had a beginning, we know that everything that began to exist has a cause, and since the universe began to exist, the cause of the universe cannot be matter, time, space, energy, because all those things came into existence.
Well, no, everything that has a beginning has an explanation for its coming into existence. That's different. And the explanation for the universe, as we see it from the moment it started rapidly expanding, is a part of it. You can literally see the moment it happened. Why are you still denying science?
It has to be spiritual. A spiritual cause is the only thing that makes sense. Sounds like a god to me.
Something that is the only thing that makes sense to you is a real you problem.
I could see why you atheists still cling to the old-fashioned neo-Darwinian science back in that age that the universe is eternal.
Old-fashioned? I don't think it's as old as the 2,000-year-old God did it explanation, mate.
You guys, why do you deny science? That's question number 2. Question 3, why do you say evolution is the cause of all creation when evolution is not a creative force?
Well, now, you're just making up. No one says that. You're just wrong there. Evolution is just a process. That we know. No one says it's the reason creation. Well, I mean, creationists do, but they struggle with understanding how old the Earth is.
It's not an origin. All evolution does is talk about how things change within limits over time. Well, heck, even Scripture says that God created them after their own kind. 100 times out of 100 times, I see a human giving birth to a human. 100 times out of 100 times, I see a horse giving birth to a horse. 100 times out of 100 times, I see a cat giving birth to a cat. And the beat goes on, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Why on earth are you just watching animals giving birth? Which 100 people let you watch them give birth? I'm calling BS on that, but regardless, that's a misunderstanding on evolution, you wally. Look at this colour. When does it change exactly from blue to red? That's how evolution works, though, actually, and this will really sour your apples. It's recently been discovered that Iberian queen ants give birth to 2 different species, so that really things up for you.
Why do you guys cling to evolution as a origin when it is not a creative force? I don't get why you guys do that. It's not true.
Well, actually, it is true. The most supported theory in science is that of evolution. Why do you deny science?
Now, the question that the atheists experience, and by the way, when I'm talking about the atheist experience, you know, they're so afraid to answer not even all these questions, just one question. Atheist experience show, I know you guys try to pretend you're intellectuals when you're really anti-intellectuals, you're anti-lectuals. Answer my simple question, what proof and evidence do you have that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? So we know the universe had a beginning, the proof's already there.
The moment the universe started rapidly expanding has a moment we can pinpoint. Carry on.
So let's see what proof and evidence you have that atheism is accurate and correct. You know, I left atheism because the lack, L-A-C-K, the lack of any evidence or proof that it was accurate or correct. It is the atheists that believe in a view of which there is no evidence.
So you weren't not convinced that there wasn't not no God, so you became a believer. Atheism is correct for me because I don't believe there's a God. I can't tell you to stop believing in made-up nonsense, but you, as a believer, have the job to demonstrate the thing you believe in. I'm still not convinced by any arguments for any God, so I'm right in not believing.
Also, the Atheist Experience Show, Justin, he's on video. I got the video. I'll put it in the comment section where he denies modern science and he claims that the universe is eternal. This is not scientific, and this isn't even the consensus of secular scientists. So I don't know why the Atheist Experience Show, they're so anti-lectual.
It really does sound like you're desperate for a God to be needed. So anything that goes against that means you say no really loudly. And again, that's a you problem.
Now, Atheist Experience Show and Atheist, I have a question for you. Why are you so murdery? No one has killed more people in cold blood than the atheists, especially the atheist regimes of Stalin, Mao, the Khmer Rouge, Pol Pot, Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un, and I can go on and on. Why are you atheists so murdery?
You know, this is the most tiresome argument because, again, it's absolutely incorrect. None of those people killed in the name of atheism. You're getting confused, old-timer, with communism, Maoism, authoritarianism. Atheism wasn't some kind of driving force, but hey, let's look at how fascism kills and how that's mostly linked to Christianity.
You're no better than the Muslims. You know, the Christians say, you will die. The Christians say that we are willing to die for what we believe, but the atheists and Muslims want us to die for what they believe.
Wrong again, dummy. I don't want you to die for believing in nonsense. In fact, I want you to stay alive for as long as possible believing stupid things so I can point and laugh at you for being ridiculous.
When you think genocide, think atheism. I'm telling you.
When I think genocide, I think the religious who did what he did. And then I think about a biblical God who supposedly wiped out an entire planet of people because he couldn't be bothered to create them to not be or something.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, so why are you so murdery?
Says what else do we have, repeats the same thing. Okay, we're not. Sticking your head in the sand and saying it was someone else really seems to be the biggest deflection tactic that Christy Bobs love so very much.
I'm going to put a link here that shows that atheists have murdered more people than anyone.
I did you a favour and checked the link. I'd never heard of it until today, but it's called Conservapedia. And it's as stupid as it sounds. An online encyclopedia for the biased perspective of fundamental Christian conservatives. It's basically Fox News Wiki, so we all know how reliable that is.
And you can't trust atheists.
Can't trust someone that uses Conservapedia as a reliable source.
And this goes to my next question. Why do atheists deny the fact that there's only two genders, male and female?
They don't. Atheists just don't believe in gods, but you're now moving on to something else. And gender is a social construct, but biological sex isn't binary either. Did you stop learning science at age 11? This whole thing seems like a you problem. I'll link a video from my brainy friend Forrest to clear this up for you.
The United States government official position is there's only two genders.
And they can be wrong, so what?
But why do atheists like the Atheist Experience Show call a biological man a biological woman if they choose to.
I'm pretty certain you're making things up here. Man, I hope he passes a fast food restaurant soon and gets a drink with a straw, man.
If you ask the Atheist Experience Show and any atheist, what makes a woman? Can a man be a woman?
Hold on, you obsess over watching 100 people give birth and want to know what genitalia someone has? You have some serious problems, motorbike man.
They'll say, yeah, it's whatever you want to be. This is not science, this is madness. Atheism screws up someone's mind where they become mentally retarded.
I think I've just found out why you're riding a bike alone. You've got no friends, maybe because you use slurs like that to describe people.
And I mean that accurately. The mind of an atheist becomes mentally where they don't think properly.
Dude, you think an undemonstrated sky wizard magicked everything into existence despite never being demonstrated to be real? If anyone isn't thinking straight, it's probably the bloke on the bike.
Do you know atheists believe that life came from non-life? We've never seen life come from non-life.
Yes, we have. The Miller-Urey experiment.
Yet the atheist believes this based on blind faith, not proof and evidence.
No, that experiment is evidence enough for a lot who otherwise just don't care. Again, because abiogenesis has nothing to do with atheism.
Atheists, why do you deny you have a burden of proof?
Because we don't.
It is obviously a fact that the claim God doesn't exist has a burden of proof. So atheists, meet your burden of proof, and you're not doing a good job. You know why? Theists are doing a great job. Look at even the Muslims.
So wait, you accept that Allah is real because Muslims demonstrate their God, even though it's the same one as yours. But this is just ignorance on your part. But hey, I can do it. No gods have met the burden of proof of their existence, so I say there are none until I'm proven wrong. I wouldn't tell you that you need to prove there's no Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe leafy upon her. I claim she's real. It's up to me to demonstrate it, which is easy. There she is.
Look at the Jews. Look at the Christians. They dominate the world stage. But atheists are a very small sliver of the world population.
Well, actually, between 2010 and 2020, the nuns, that being those who are religiously unaffiliated or agnostic or atheist, made up around 1/3 of the global population. So I don't think that's right either. Even in the USA, non-believers are growing. Over 1 in 4 are now non-religious.
And so when it comes to burden of proof, if all the other people are convinced that God exists, atheist, you got some convincing to do.
They're all convinced of different gods. I'll save you some time. Why don't you believe them? Apply that to yours to get where I am.
As Ricky Ricardo said to Lucy when she got in trouble, you got a lot of splaining to do.
Projection, Your Honor.
So atheists, those are the questions. Let's go through them real quick, one by one, in case you forgot. Why do you say you're happier when atheists have a higher suicide rate?
Because that isn't true.
That's not normal. That's mentally retarded. Something's mentally retarded about a view that embraces suicide like atheism does.
You're really showing your ignorance by using that slur, aren't you?
Atheists, why do you deny the universe had a beginning when all proof and evidence shows that the universe had a beginning?
The evidence points to the rapid expansion of the universe having a moment it began.
Atheists, why do you say evolution done did it? Evolution did it. When evolution does not serve as an explanation for life here on this planet, evolution is not a creative force.
They don't say that. You made it up.
Evolution just talks about change over time. The fish used to look like this. Now the fish changed a little bit. It's still a fish, but now the fish looks like this. That's all evolution is. It's change within limits, but it's not an explanation that explains creation.
Right. You believe in creation. I don't.
I strongly suggest if you're an atheist, go to Ask Cliff.
You think I don't have videos by Cliff Neckley on this channel?
On YouTube, go to Wes Huff, WESHUFF. Go to these channels and subscribe. Go to reasonablefaith.org. go to www.shockofgod.com, where you can listen to me talk to atheists on my radio podcast. One atheist called up and I asked him, what proof and evidence do you have that atheism is accurate and correct? And he didn't have any. I said, why should I be an atheist? See, I was an atheist, but there's no evidence in it. I got to believe in something that has evidence. If you're an atheist, just remember, everyone knows that you're an atheist based on blind faith, not evidence.
Well, the faith bit is ridiculous, but you are right with the evidence. I'm an atheist because I see no evidence for a God. Maybe you aren't as stupid as you sound. Nah, I take that back.
So what proof and evidence can you provide that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? What's next?
Maybe what's next should be you actually understanding what atheism is.
Why are you guys so murdery? Google atheism and mass murder. I mean, that trans, just these past few weeks, the atheist trans that went in and shot little children and shot people that were praying in church. Do you know his rifle magazine on his AR? He painted on the magazine, "Where's your God now?"
And where was it?
Imagine this atheist trans going into the church, and after he kills himself, again, proving what I'm saying, very high suicide rate.
Of course. 1 to 1 is a high rate.
After he kills himself, they get his rifle, they look on the magazine, and it says, "Where's your God?" I think we all know that that atheist knows that he's going to hell.
Yeah, I doubt it. Hell is what you believe in, not atheists.
I thank God for hell. I thank God that he is just, and even the people that deny his forgiveness, he'll respect their view, and he'll let them go to hell.
Mostly because this made-up God isn't powerful enough to demonstrate it exists. What a great being.
Why so murdery? Why do you deny there's only two genders? Sometimes an atheist will come to my channel and say, well, there's some people born with two sex organs. Yeah, male and female organs. It's still only two genders.
Just confirmed that the person is both, so it's not two, you dumbass.
They happen to have a handicap where they're born with these two genders. But there's only two genders. It just proves what I'm saying. There's not like a new gender that they were born with, a new sexual organ.
Why are you so weird that you care about sexual organs that people have? This screams of someone who hasn't had much luck with others wanting his sexual organ.
And of course, atheists, why do you deny you have the burden of proof? You know, I was at church today, and the pastor was saying that there's an antichrist spirit in the world. I believe this. And the Atheist Experience Show, they're full of the spirit, among other things, but they're full of this antichrist spirit.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as ominous to me as you might think it does. Yeah, I'm anti-Christ. I'm anti-religion, mostly because of what it does to delusional old motorbike riders. You have zero idea about what atheism is, and you probably have listened to some terrible apologists and thought that their arguments were good. They weren't. This was terrible. Perhaps stick to flying drones and riding motorbikes. You seem somewhat okay at that. Did you think these questions were easily answered? Let me know in the section below. I'm going to skeptic this as another guy thinking he sounds smart when actually he doesn't get atheism at all. A big thank you to this month's top level ticks on Patreon: Dark Ether Piao, Tamo, the Barely Bearable Atheist, George, Godless Granny, Addy Rockhart, the Enixes, Jakari, Elizabeth, Whiskey Tech Fred, Rick and Ray, as well as all the $3 base ticks and channel members. You can become a supporter on Patreon too at patreon.com/theskeptic. The link is in the description, along with links to all my other socials, or become a member by hitting the join button below this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. From me, the Skeptic, stay safe, keep thinking logically, and ask questions. Skepticism is the first step towards truth. See you next Saturday.